What the heck is Formula One?
Pole position, strategy,
yachts and parties,
safety car, Ferrari.
beautiful corners.
Oh, right, okay. There's a car in front of you. Try and overtake it.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Hello, you fools. Welcome back to another Formula Fools podcast. We are on episode 17 of 34 in our 34 of 34 series. Today we're talking about Charles Leclerc. And if you don't know why we're talking about Charles Leclerc or what 34 and 34 means, it is a pre-season little highlight, deep dive into the drivers, the teams, and this year's cars and liveries and things like that. We're going to be releasing an episode a day for 34 days. We started it, obviously, 31st of Jan, 17 days ago. So if you've not listened, go back and listen to the other ones because they are phenomenal. If you've got a favorite driver or team, just go listen to them episodes, but then also check out other ones because there's a lot of cross-referencing. Last episode, we spoke about Lance Stroll. Guess what? Lance Stroll episode comes out like next week or some shit. So
True.
Stick around for that one. Today, skin is skin.
Yes, today I'm Skin. I'm also Skin on other days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm actually Mitch. Nick Skin's a nickname, obviously.
Yeah. Usually dad as well because you've got a child.
Yeah.
Husband.
Yeah, that's what my wife calls me, husband.
I was about to say you carry a few names. And then, You pointed out that was a stupid thing.
Yeah, so she still calls me Mitch as well. That's my name. Yep, that's that.
You know, every time I tagged you on Instagram story this morning, and every single time I tag you, always forget your name's Mitch. I start typing Skin first, and I have to go, fuck, it's Mitch.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Have you not seen what I put on the story this morning?
No.
I got to the studio and the Chocs neon was still on. So I did a little video like, I was like, someone left the studio on.
Classic.
Classic. Was it Mickers?
Think so.
We'll blame Goody.
True.
It's always Gody's fault, especially on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we introduced you, but we didn't introduce me. If it's your first time here, I'm Dave. Hello. Pretty much I also go by Disco, Dave the Brit that knows jack shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got some things.
Got some names.
I think your girlfriend calls you boyfriend.
Yes. Good. I see what you did there. Yep. Lee calls me baby, obviously.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's us.
That's
Dave knows
us.
stuff about Formula One. I do not know very much about Formula One, so I could sit here and pick his brain. And we've been doing daily episodes on certain topics, so we're picking his brain on those sorts of things. And today, that thing is Charles Leclerc.
Yeah. Or to give you his full name that I wrote down, Charles Leclerc.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're really good at this whole middle name thing.
Yeah. We've done
What
it for
else
some
did we
of them.
screw it up on? You said
George Russell, I think Lando Norris.
Yeah, George Russell, you said doesn't have a middle name because you didn't write it down. He definitely does.
Yeah. But I didn't write it down, so I mean, Listen, I've got a really good chat GPT prompt, but for some reason, it's only for some people, it's giving me the middle names. For other people, it's just not.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the
So
great prompts.
as long as I get their first and last name right, I'm fine with it.
Sure.
I'll try to do better from Lewis Hamilton's, which is tomorrow's. So really interesting nationality. Charles Leclerc is from Monaco. He's a Monegasque,
Mhm.
I think you call them. Quite unique. It's one of the smallest countries in the world. So to be born and raised there is quite unique, but also shows, you're probably from a bit of money. Probably got some wealth behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I feel like we probably have already done an episode around Monaco. There's some sort of tax.
Oh, it's a tax-free haven.
Yeah, it's a tax-free. So, So every rich person just moves there and it's become prohibitively expensive to do anything. Is that?
It's always been the case like that. Like it's always been the exact same in Formula One. I think Formula One went there because back in the day when it was more of a gentleman's sport and, they would serve champagne and caviar and cigarettes before and after and during the races. It was like a very like posh Englishmen or like, posh French people. It was a lot of posh European people basically at these races. And I think Monaco just was that it was, you kind of would have Brands Hatch or Silverstone in England where it's like grey and rainy and like, you're there for the racing, but then you would have Monaco where it's like, you're there for the racing, but you're also there to party and you're also there to enjoy the beach and the beach, the docks and the harbour and beautiful views and everything like that. And kind of would have signified a level of money. Like if you can make it in Monaco, you can kind of make it across the rest of the F1 World Championship. And it certainly has that prestigious feel to it still now. Like winning at Monaco is like, Lando won at Monaco this year and he comes on the radio and he's like, Monaco, baby, we did it. Like, you want to win at Monaco. It's one of the main places. It's one of the best tracks in the world to win at because of its history and its prestige. It's also part of the Triple Crown. So to win a F1 race at Monaco, to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and to win I want to say, the Daytona 500 in IndyCar.
Okay.
I want to say it's certainly an IndyCar thing, is the Triple Crown. So if you win each of them races, you get the Triple Crown, or
How many people have done
metaphorically. Not that many. I don't know. We could do an episode on the Triple Crown though. That would be good. But Fernando went for it and has failed. He's done everything apart from the IndyCar.
Yeah. Okay. He'll get there.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So presumably his parents are doing quite well. Back to Charles, not Fernando.
Yeah.
Presumably his parents are doing quite well for themselves then, for him to be born and grown up in Monaco.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what they did, what they're up to?
No, I'm not fully across Charles's family from like where the wealth comes from and things like that. All I know is that they're very well connected. They've got a good family, and racing has been intertwined in that throughout all of Charles's upbringing and leading him into F1. Obviously, I think if you're growing up in Monaco, once a year there's the F1 race, but there's also Formula E races and a lot of historical races and things. So you pretty much have to just be. You can't live in Monaco and not enjoy racing. Like, it's there year round. So it's kind of, if you're going to be born there, you're going to end up doing something in motorsport, I would imagine.
Right. Okay. You can't live in Monaco and not enjoy racing. Interesting. I assume you're going to get into like his junior career and stuff like that, but how does living in Monaco go with racing? We sort of spoke about it a little bit with Oscar living in Australia and then trying to break into Formula One. He had to move over to England and sort of start racing and all of that stuff. Is there an element of that as well growing up in Monaco? Like, is that, do you need to get over to England
not to England.
Go and race in other championships? Like, it's such a small place. Like, but how much racing could possibly be happening
in Monaco? Not for juniors, not a lot. So he would have to travel. But the great thing is that Monaco is on the south of France. And so, and it's very well connected with trains and highways and things. So like, to grow up there is actually pretty good because you're very close to Spain. You're obviously immediately close to France. You're quite close to Germany. So in terms of European karting championships and things like that, for juniors and kids, you're actually really well connected being in Monaco. I would say Monaco, France, England are like, that kind of like, is it longitude, the downwards one? Or so. That kind of area of longitude or latitude, I don't know, whichever one it is. That straight line that's like a really good, well-connected place to be. So he wouldn't have had to make a move to England or anything like that unless he was competing, more full-time in a specific English championship, which we'll get onto his junior career, but I'm not sure. I don't know that he did. I think he was more on the European circuits.
Okay.
So yeah, no, he wouldn't have been as extreme as Oscar, but there would, for every driver, even if you're living in England, there would be a fair amount of travel involved. And yeah, Monaco's quite a good place to go from there. And also, plenty of bankers and investors in Monaco to be able to pay for them junior careers and travel and things like that. So I'm sure he wasn't struggling to get about places.
True.
His birthday is the 16th of October, 1997. So just a bit younger than you, Skin. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
97, but March.
Fuck, I was about to say September.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Close enough. September, March. Yeah, basically the same month.
6-7 months.
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously he is 28. Or is he turning 28? I'm getting...
Dude, I don't know. I don't know how old
How old are you?
I have no idea.
Okay, you don't know. Okay,
we'd have to work it out. Yeah.
Okay, so he's either 28 or he's turning 28. We'll see. We won't see, but there you go. There's his birthday. You can figure it out.
I think I'm 28 turning 29.
Okay.
So he would have to be...
Yeah, you're a year younger than me. I just turned 30, so you'll turn 29 this year. Yeah.
So he'd be the same.
Yeah.
He would have just turned 28 in October.
Yeah. Go Skin.
All right.
You deduced that well.
Nice math.
His F1 debut year was in 2018. The teams he's driven for was Sauber in 2018, which was Alfa Romeo Sauber at the time. And then he got promoted after one season into Ferrari and has driven with Ferrari from 2019 through to today.
Wait, say that again. Sorry. When was he with Sauber?
Sauber 2018, when it was Alfa Romeo Sauber.
Okay. He drove with them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did a full season there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, weapon. And Fred Vasseur was the team principal back in his Sauber days at Sauber. And I think Fred also was team principal at one of his junior teams as well. He definitely was for Lewis, but I'm sure he did like a season or two, or he owned a team. There was something about Charles's junior career with Fred Vasseur. So Fred and Charles have got a very good relationship from Charles being quite young and obviously debuting in F1.
Right, okay.
I feel like you were going to ask a question.
Well, I mean, essentially, like, what was that season like? So he debuted for Sauber. I didn't know that. I've just always pictured him as a Ferrari driver.
Yeah.
What happened there? How'd he go?
So this was the same as how we spoke yesterday in the George Russell episode with George going to Williams, and then So Ferrari basically placed him in Sauber, see how he would go before giving him the step up into Ferrari. Just give him a season in a junior team to like get all that, all the rookie crashes and all the rookie mistakes out, and then give him a big promotion.
Yeah, nice.
To the top team. So he went well. He performed very well in qualifying and through in the races as well. His management of races, he wouldn't crash, he would keep clean, but he would also be really consistent with his lap times and things throughout that junior season. Was very good. I think he was partnered with, I want to say it was Marcus Ericsson, but I could be wrong on that one. And so like if it was Marcus Ericsson, which I'm pretty sure it was, he had a teammate who had a lot of experience in Formula One and just racing in general. Like Marcus wasn't the best of drivers, but he was, a Hulkenberg kind of driver. Like he was a very good midfield, consistent racing driver. And so, to go up against him he would have learned a lot, alongside Marcus. If he wasn't with Marcus, then I got that completely wrong. And Marcus was 2017 and then left, but I'm pretty sure it was Marcus Ericsson.
Okay.
This is where we get into the stats we've been quite interested in for these driver episodes. The race starts, he's had 171 of them.
Okay.
He's had 8 wins over his, 8 years now? Well, he's going into his 8th year.
Yeah.
Debut in 2018.
Yeah, okay.
Going into his 8th year.
Saying, yep.
50 podiums. Pretty good.
Okay.
Of 171, a third of them, just under.
Nice. Good on you.
27 pole positions.
Oh.
To 8 race wins.
Oh, shit. What happened there?
He doesn't finish in first a lot when he qualifies on pole.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Lando was bad at that. He's nowhere near as bad at that.
Yeah. Lando is close to a 1 in 2 ratio, like a half of his poles are converted. I think he's just over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Charles is well under half.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Any idea?
A few things. Either I've always said this with Charles Leclerc. I don't rate his aggression in the car. I think he's too much of a nice guy. And I think we saw, I spoke about this in the Oscar episode. We saw Oscar step up his, getting his elbows out and really showing people like, hey, I'm not fucking afraid of making tough moves when I need to. I think Charles is a lot more of a, pushover is probably too harsh, but the going towards a bit of a pushover. I think when people make a move on Charles, more often than not, they will come out on top than Charles. Don't think he's that good at defending, or I also think he's quite scared of not scared, but he's against making contact or getting his elbows out and pushing people to get his own way. And I think these stats show it. Like 27 poles, only converted 8 of them. So. Or, I mean, I don't know if all 8 of them were from pole position, but, he's only got 8 race wins and that doesn't look good against the 27 pole positions. So, yeah, this is the stat. This is why throughout a lot of last season and a lot of when I say I don't rate Charles Leclerc as a championship winner, I think he's a phenomenal driver and he's definitely one of the best. But when it comes down to a championship, I don't think he would ever beat anyone on the grid. I think he would be out of the top lot. I think he would be towards my bottom of the top lot. And this stat is why.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd argue with that. It's a weird stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite damning. But also, he went through a period of certainly I think it was 2020, maybe 2021 as well a little bit. Ferrari had a very fast 1 lap pace and then not a very consistent race car. Right, so qualifying on pole and then not converting them was quite common during that era. But
yeah, I kind of wanted to ask because people take the piss out of Ferrari a fair bit, like they sort of classic downgrades and they sort of screw stuff up. Their strategies suck, even like their pit stops often suck. Like they can suck a bit.
Oh yeah.
So, like, oh yeah, I wonder how much of that stat is due to being at Ferrari, I suppose,
100%.
and having issues with any of those things that cause you to lose a race when you've sort of started on pole. But 27 opportunities seems like enough to sort of account for that. More. I would have thought.
Yeah. But also my thing on that is like when I talk about aggression within a driver, I look at Oscar, for example. Oscar's one of the most level-headed drivers we see, but he took aggression and left Alpine to join McLaren. Like that was a very like taking his career by the balls and really fucking saying, I'm going to do what's best for me. And in my opinion, if we're going to look at Charles' career and say, okay, well, how much of this stat is because of Ferrari fucking him? When is he going to wake up and smell the flowers and see that Ferrari's probably not the best team to be in? Like they don't convert poles into race wins often, or they don't convert their car from, like what they're seeing on the data into a good race car. Like Ferrari are not a good team, in my opinion. Like they're a bang average team at best. Like they only are at the top because of the amount of money and facilities that they have. They haven't won a championship since 2007. Like it's been almost 20 years. It's not looking good. Okay, could be. I could say that right now, and then they could fucking dominate this season. We're going into a new era. They've fucked up the last two eras for sure. I can say that. But that's almost, how long do you give it? You've been in the team. You're going into your 7th year in the team. It's like you're going into your 7th year. They keep screwing you. They keep fucking you. Like they're the reason. If we're going to put it down to like you've had a great junior career, you're obviously a good driver. What is it? Is it that you don't have that aggression, or is it the team? Fucking do something about one of them. Get more aggressive or change your team.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
And I just kind of feel like he could be shooting himself in the foot by staying with Ferrari.
Sure.
But also he could be shooting himself in the foot by not being more aggressive in his racecraft.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Again, if anyone's listened to yesterday's episode, we got a bit all over the place, out of order. I feel like we've done that a little bit
yeah.
as well. We haven't really touched on his junior career or anything much yet, and we're sort of just deep diving into how shit his current team is. But you touched on those years in 2020, 2021, where I didn't realise that Ferrari had a good race pace.
Qualifying pace, not race pace.
Qualifying pace, sorry. Having not watched either of those seasons, because I got into Formula One when I met you, and I was not then. But looking back at those seasons, I think Ferrari won 0 races in both of them. I think they went winless in both of those seasons.
2019, certainly not.
No, 2020, 21.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, 20 and 21. Yeah, sorry, Skin. Yeah. You go. Probably. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So what were those seasons like? Obviously, Ferrari have this sort of diehard group of fans that sort of let you know when things aren't going well. What would that have been like? I mean, for the whole team, for Charles in particular, I suppose. I imagine he would have been on the receiving end of some serious flack.
I think during them years it was less on Charles and it was more on Ferrari, because Charles had Sebastian Vettel as a teammate during these years. It was that kind of helped him out quite a bit for them first few years in Ferrari, because you can't have a four-time world champion also not winning and then blame the drivers. I mean, John Elkin had no fucking dramas doing that against Lewis Hamilton last season, but that's a different story. But yeah, so I think the Tifosi kind of actually took it easy on Charles and on Seb. And I think it was more, the onus was more on the team than on the drivers. But also, they didn't, they struggled during the races. Let's look at that era. We had Mercedes coming, towards the tail end of their most dominant era in their most dominant cars. We also saw Red Bull starting to come good. So 2021, it was pretty much Checo, Lewis, Max, and Valtteri that won races. I think there was the odd race here or there, like Danny Rick got a win, or was it Pierre Gasly got a win that season in Monza when Lewis and Max had crashed into each other and didn't finish the race. Like, there was the odd winner like that, which was rare, and Ferrari fucking missed out on picking up on the points. But, it was only crazy races when we saw different winners during them 2 seasons, really, other than the Red Bull and the Mercedes drivers. So it was more so that Mercedes and Red Bull had made dominant cars, and Ferrari just weren't quite there. 2019, they certainly, like beginning of 2019 when Charles first went, it looked like Ferrari were in the championship fight. Like Seb and Charles were fucking podiuming very regular in the first part of the season, but they just couldn't keep up with the development that Mercedes had throughout the rest of the season, and then just fell away from it. Yeah. obviously, I've still not even finished his stats. Obviously, Charles won 0 world championships, which was my last stat to read, and he's still with Ferrari going into 2026. But let's just jump back and look at his junior career. So, yeah, Charles had quite a interesting junior career in the fact that Charles is the godson of former Formula One driver Jules Bianchi, who passed away because of a Formula One crash in Suzuka. He's like the most recent Formula One driver to have died because of a crash at a race. And I know that there was Antoine who died at Spa that in Formula 2. I'm talking Jules Bianchi in a Formula 1 car. Had his accident. So Jules Bianchi was the godfather of Charles Leclerc. So when I said earlier about he was surrounded by a lot of people in his upbringing that were around Formula 1, Jules kind of helped Charles to get to Ferrari because Jules was on a Ferrari junior program in the Mana Marussia, who had the Ferrari engines. And Charles was, I'm getting names mixed up. Jules was due to go and race for Ferrari had the crash not happened. Like he probably had one more season in Mana and then he probably would have been promoted into the Ferrari car because he was a very fast driver. But Jules had told Ferrari on several occasions, you need to look at my godson. Like if you think I'm fast, this kid's way better than I am. And so, in his early karting career and in his early junior career, he already had a Formula One driver singing his praise and telling, people in Ferrari and people in Mana Marussia, his team back then, that he was going to be a weapon driver and he certainly was going to have a good big career ahead of him. So, he was set up for very big things. And I think the expectation was really high very early on in Charles's career. He didn't disappoint. In junior formulas, he got back-to-back championships in GP3 and Formula 2. That was in 2016 for GP3 and then 2017 in Formula 2. So he was like thereabouts with George. So he actually won the year before George did in Formula 2 and then obviously got promoted into Formula 1 in 2018 after his Formula 2 win. Mm-hmm. So yeah, quite a good junior program. More so backed up by the pressure, or not pressure, but the expectation that Jules had put on his shoulders.
Yeah, right. Okay, interesting.
Mm. And so when Charles when he signed his contract for Ferrari, he honoured it to Jules Bianchi, and still today will still openly talks about his relationship with Jules and how much Jules influenced his racing career and wanting to be with Ferrari and his loyalties to the Ferrari program because of that.
Right. Okay. Mm. Holy heck.
Yeah.
That is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a weird situation in that having someone sing your praises would obviously help so much in terms of getting you in a seat. Just a little bit of classic bit of nepotism.
Yeah.
But then I guess the sort of added pressure that comes along with that be tough to live up to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We will do, I think this year is the year we've done a deep dive into Senna. I think this year is the year we do a deep dive into Jules Bianchi, especially now if we're seeing Graham Loudon back on the grid as the Cadillac team principal. He was a team principal at Mana Marussia at the time and was very close with Jules when he died. So yeah, I think we'll do a deep dive into that, and Charles will be heavily involved in that episode. And I think a lot of Charles Leclerc fans, they get around the Jules story quite a lot. So I think a lot of them fans would love to hear that a little bit more deeper. So we'll do that later this year.
Godson means that's when your parents like someone essentially, and it's like if something happens to us, you're taking care of him. Is that
basically?
I understood that correctly?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So at a christening, isn't it? Isn't it when you christened, you pick godparents? I thought it was a religious. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I thought it was like a religious. At a christening, you choose
godparents.
Yeah, godparents.
That's something to do with God.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that would suggest that Charles's dad or mum had a good relationship with Jules. Do you have any idea how they would have known each other? Was he
family friends?
He a Monegasque?
No. So Jules is French. So obviously South France are all all around there. Like they would have gone skiing together and shit. Charles's parents and Jules's parents were friends. So Charles was a baby when Jules was in his junior career. Because I think the age gap would have been 10 or 12 years, something like that. So yeah, like they would have known Jules as a young kid, and then when Charles was born, they would have said, you know, we want him to be the godfather, and for them to grow up together and to, you know, kind of. I think that ultimately the dream for both Jules and Charles would have been to, like we're seeing now with Charles and Arthur, Charles' brother Arthur Leclerc, we're seeing them, you know, do Ferrari tests together, and you know, potentially we could see them both on the grid at the same time, the brothers. And I think that would have been an amazing thing to see Jules on the grid exiting his career when Charles come in, and then Charles on the grid when Arthur comes in. It would have been a nice little like transitional period. But obviously, you know, Jules's career was cut short by that accident. So yeah, but I think that was kind of their dream of the families, was kind of like, oh, our kids could be racing in Formula One together one day.
Right. Okay.
You know, obviously a dream when they're holding Charles as a baby and whatever, but you know,
Yeah, for sure.
a dream that definitely could have paid off, as it turns out now. Both made it to F1. An iconic moment, another iconic moment, if we're talking about families and we're talking about Jules and we're talking about death, I think you can't look at Charles Leclerc's career or life without mentioning a lot of sad, very emotional moments. One of which was the passing of his father, which he openly talks about quite a lot. His dad got sick and passed away. I can't remember how, like what it was in the end, but it was during his Formula 2 or Formula 3 junior career. Charles was on the Ferrari program, and Charles talks about this with a big smile on his face still, because one of the last things he did with his dad is he phoned his dad up, or he went and visited his dad, and he told his dad that he had signed a contract to drive for Ferrari in F1, which was a lie. He had not signed any contracts to drive for Ferrari, but it was just because that was their dream growing up, and that was what his dad had given up a lot and had taken him, traveled with him to all the races and everything, and so it was their dream for him to get to Ferrari. And it was something like a year later or a year and a half later or something, he finally signed that contract, and that little white lie became a reality. And Charles talks about that with fondness as a kind of final memory with his dad.
Yeah. Crikey. Okay. That's a bold move.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That would feel weird having that hanging over you for the rest of your life if it didn't
come
out that way.
off. Yeah.
Well done.
But also I think it was more just I think he just wanted his father to literally rest in peace. Like I think he wanted his father's mind to be like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, I've achieved that goal that we've been working towards for all these years with my son, and I can kind of tick that off. So very nice for Charles to do that, but also risky for his future and his mind. But yeah, it's quite an iconic moment, I think, for Charles. And even when you hear him talk about it, like it's so emotional, and he gets emotional with it. And I think all of the fans around him get emotional. I think that's why he has such a dedicated fan group of people. Like there's, when we go to the F1, you always see a lot of, let's be honest, it's a lot of young women that really like him because he's easy on the eyes, but he's also got this kind of like really like deep thing that you can connect with, everyone's lost a parent or a grandparent and can kind of connect with that a similar story to that.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I do. Nice, Charles.
Go Charles. So yeah, where is Charles Leclerc right now? We've obviously spoken a lot about his current career and where he's at with Ferrari and things, but going into 26, he's kind of the lead driver at Ferrari, which is quite phenomenal to say that Lewis Hamilton is the driver next to him, but he certainly put Lewis Hamilton in his place last year, and being in the team now since was it 2019 or something? Like, he's cemented in that team, and he's, that team is fully around Charles, I would say. So yeah, he's going into 26 with with kind of standing on a pedestal kind of thing within the team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a weird situation. I don't know. Half of me kind of like, obviously having missed all of Lewis's greatness, and only getting into Formula One more recently, half of me kind of wishes like that he gets the good car that he can actually work out for once, and how if he does and he sort of ends up dominating again, how that would change the team setup. It'd be interesting to see. But yeah, at the moment it certainly seems like Charles is doing it over there, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the thing though, isn't it? Right now in Ferrari is that there's so many interesting dynamics that could pan out this season with that. Like with, is Lewis going to make it? Is he not? Like if Lewis doesn't do good this year, we could see him retire, which would be huge. But then if Lewis wins in a Ferrari multiple times this year, then huge.
Mm.
But then also like if him and Charles get a good car and they battle it out for a championship and we see Ferrari, fighting every week, it's just like, it's going to be huge for both Lewis and Charles and Ferrari. Like all whatever happens this year, whether it be good or bad for the three of them, this is a very big defining year for Ferrari and Charles and Lewis's career.
Mm.
So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting 26 for them.
That would be cool to see. It's like
them two battling.
Charles and Lewis battling like essentially the same way Lando and Oscar did last year for championship.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I don't like Ferrari. That's no secret. I don't think Charles is that great.
But it's been
I don't
nearly
like
20
Lewis.
years.
But for the story of the sport and for a fan of the sport, I would love nothing more than for them two to just dominate the season and for us to just see red cars at the front every single fucking weekend, pushing each other as hard as possible. Yeah, it would be amazing. If that was the case, I'd put my money all day on Lewis. No way Charles is beating Lewis.
Right. Okay.
For me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, any Charles diehards out there.
I feel like I had another question. Oh yeah. So Charles got into the Ferrari program through this connection with Jules, sort of.
Yeah. Sort of.
Which makes sense, I suppose. But I guess with Ferrari being so diehard, like having this diehard Italian sort of core group of fans, and I don't know, it just feels like a very like they're so proud in their Italianness. I don't know how else to put that in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would have expected Ferrari to pick junior drivers from Italy.
Yeah.
And bring up Italian junior drivers. Was it strange for them to sort of...
They've not had many Italian winners.
Oh, really?
In Ferrari's history. They've had some, obviously, but especially in recent history, like their last two world champions were Finnish and German.
Yeah.
Like they, in fact, I don't think they've had a single Italian driver in the main team. I know Antonio Giovinazzi was a reserve for a little bit there, but I don't think they've had a single Italian driver in the 2000s in the main car. Could be wrong, but I don't think they have. Just off the top of my head, I don't think they have. Yeah. Michael was German. His teammate Rubens Barrichello was Brazilian. Then Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, Brazilian and Spanish. Then they had like Kimi Räikkönen, Finnish, Sebastian Vettel, German.
Sure. That's so weird. How do they reconcile that, being so proudly Italian and then just being like, the old driver. What's a driver?
I think it's Enzo never cared about nationality, and I think his thing was always pure speed. He would rather put the fastest driver in the car than an Italian in the car. And I think Enzo kind of saw the Italian fans and media and a lot of things like that. Even though he saw it for the good that it can do, he also saw it for the bad that it can do. And so I don't think for him it was ever a case of like, we need Italian drivers. It was more I want the fucking best people to make my brand and my cars look good. Right.
Okay. So that proudness more comes from the media than the team.
Most likely. Yeah. The media, the Tifosi and things like that. But even looking at like this over on the sports car, Robert Kubica was their most successful driver of last year in the World Endurance Championship, winning a lot of the endurance race over there. He's from Poland. Like they do have a lot of Italian drivers in the sports car program, but nowhere near as many as what they do. Like they don't have nearly that many in Formula One Italian drivers than sports car. But yeah, that's kind of Charles Leclerc's episode in the bag. Anything else?
Not from me.
Not from me either. I think we've done a good job there at looking at his career so far. And listen, for Charles' sake and everyone around him in his management team and everything, I hope I'm wrong about him not being a future world champion. And I hope I'm wrong about his aggression. I hope we can see a different side of Charles this year or next year or something. But so far in his career, I've been nothing but disappointed with the expectations of him coming in. And also just, seeing him get poles and then not capitalize on them. For me, Charles he's a good one lap guy and he's consistent in his racing, but he's a midfield, a mid top of pack, if that makes sense. Like he's always going to be at the top, but he's going to be in the middle of all them kind of lot or towards the bottom of them lot. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, Charles. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking part in this 34 and 34 series. If you want to follow along, please do. Search Formula Fools on all social medias. You'll find us. And come back tomorrow for Lewis Hamilton's episode. Carry on the Ferrari theme. And if you've not listened to any of the previous ones, go give them a listen. Give us a rating, review, comments. All that shit helps. So yeah, Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.